I was thinking that Tamil Nadu has been actually a big pioneer in retail. If you go back over the last 30, 40 years, it's been an absolute big pioneer. Why did that happen? I think the fundamental enablers were there. Tamil Nadu has a very good road infrastructure. Not many states in this country have it. Maybe Gujarat has one, but most states don't have it. Second, very good banking system. For many years, Tamil Nadu has had a very good banking system. You cannot indulge in trade and commerce if you don't have good banks. A combination of scheduled and non-scheduled banks over the last 50 years has seen the growth of trade and commerce in Tamil Nadu. And third for me is communication. Tamil Nadu has had very strong communication facilities over the last 50 years. Okay, so when I look at Tamil Nadu as a state, it has been a pioneer in the whole area of trade, commerce, and retail for those three big enablers. Apart from that, we've seen lots of innovation and pioneering work from Tamil Nadu. The whole concept of retailing, food, grocery, books, has been from Tamil Nadu. Big brands, Narsu, Leo, Spencer's, Higginbotham's, Landmark, they're all household names today, but they all originated in Tamil Nadu and here. Vivek's, Vasant's, VGP, everything they did to make durables much more accessible to the average Tamil consumer are all points which others have taken much later on. Apart from that, I think the government of India, with things like weights and measures, with PCRO, prevention of commodity, etc., has played a very important role. The role of the government in the early days, I would go back to about 80s, 70s and 80s, was to ensure that goods and services, or whatever you call them, products, were available to consumer and not hoarded by the trade. So that's why the government had a number of rules. For example, oil, somebody could not stock more than 1,000 kgs of oil in a depot, or sugar. And that's why they started their own ration shops, they started their own fair price shops, they started the concept of the Janata Bazaar, and that's how even milk, what you see Avin here, these are all initiatives aimed at stopping hoarding and ensuring that goods and services were available to the average consumer. So this is not available anywhere else in the world. Okay, some unique factors contribute to retail in India, and Tamil Nadu has played a pioneering part. Okay, I want to really pay homage to that first. If you look at Indian retail, and I'm giving you a snapshot of 2010 to 2016, in 2006, the total market was about 310 billion. The organized part, which is what you call the large format part or whatever it is of just 3% in 2010. In 2011, the total market is about 470 billion. The organized trade has doubled from 3 to 6. In 2016, it's expected to be 675 billion. The organized trade will still double from 6 to 12. If you look out another 10 years, you look out another 25 years, the structure of Indian retail will not change. It will dominantly be the mom and pop store. Okay, they will be the place and a conjunction for both big stores and small stores. As long as you are capital efficient, as long as you're consumer focused and satisfy what your consumer wants, you'll be fine. Okay, that's the point. The big will not eat the small will not run away from the big. Okay, so it will never happen. Okay, we've done all kinds of analysis for the next 25 years. Both will coexist as long as they're efficient. If you're inefficient, we don't deserve to exist. Okay, so this is the pattern of Indian retail over the next 5 years. So even in 2016, a very, very large market, a very significant market, just about 12% organized, 88% unorganized. Okay, so that's the first point. Second, let's look at the sectors and what's happening with the sectors. Okay, food is very, very big. Nearly 70% of total retail is consumed or delivered by the food category. Not a surprise. In most developing economies, that would be true. If you look at the Indian household budget today, more than 40% is spent on food. So it's not a surprise at all, that this will continue to be there. Apparel, doubling between 2006 and 2016, about 50 billion. Jewelry and watches, nearly threefold, 17 billion to 44. Consumer electronics and technology, 17 to 43. That's a sector which is going to grow faster and faster. Okay, that will be a very unique and new sector in terms of retail. Health will be another big one in the future, from 8 billion in 2006 to 23 billion in 2016. I believe health, education, technology will be very big sectors in the future as the economy moves forward. Furnishings and furniture, 7 to 17. You can already see that in the big places. Food, 5 to 16. Okay, it's interesting about food. At home, the center of the plate hasn't changed for the last 100 years. So if you are rice eating 100 years ago, you would still be rice eating today. If you are chapati eating 100 years ago, you would still be chapati eating today. What has changed is the edge of the plate. The edge of the plate used to have the vadams, it's been replaced by the chips. It used to have homemade pickles, it's been replaced by branded pickles like Priya or somebody. The edge of the plate in food has changed, the center of the plate hasn't changed. Okay, so the opportunities in the edge of the plate in terms of retail. The center of the food will still be dominated by grocery. Footwear, 4 to 8. Beauty services will be big. 0.6 to 3, a 5-fold jump. Okay, and this is just not a trend in large towns. Even in the smallest towns I go to in India, I see the following big hoardings. Learn English is a big one. Learn something to do with computers is another big one. Beauty and wellness, grooming is another big one. Salons, unisex salons, multi-sex salons, big one. And the other one is wellness, which is gyms. These are the 4 big hoardings I see in any small town I go to today. This is not an urban phenomenon. It happens in every small city in this country. Okay? So beauty services will be big. Health and fitness services, again, a 7-fold increase. So overall, 310 to 675. I personally believe that we are going to see concurrent growth happening in many sectors going forward. The expertise required for retail in each of these sectors will be different. Okay, and where will that talent come from is a question that the retail industry and the principals and the brands need to really ask.